Welcome back, Math E, Lesson 21. Today we are in our textbook. To start, we are discussing prime and composite numbers. This is what your page should look like. All right, follow along as I read. You're going to learn about prime numbers. I'll read what it says. Any number can be divided by 1 or divided by itself. You can see 13 divided by 1 and 13 divided by itself. For some numbers, you can only divide 1 and the number itself. These numbers are called prime numbers. If you can divide any number other than 1 and then the number itself, the number is not a prime number. Here are some prime numbers. Prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. These numbers can only divide by 1 and themselves. All right, here's some numbers that are not prime numbers. Not prime. Um, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. Okay, those are not prime numbers, which are called composite, which means numbers other than 1 and themselves can divide into these different numbers. All right. Here's how to test a number to see if it's a prime number. Ask, can that number be divided by something other than 1 and the number itself? Here's 14. Can 14 be divided by something other than 1 and 14? Yes, it can also be divided by 7, and it can be divided by 2. So 14 is not a prime number. Here's 15. Can 15 be divided by a number by something other than 1 and 15? Yes, it can be divided by 3 and it can be divided by 5, so it is not a prime number. Here's 17. Can 17 be divided by something other than 1 or 17? No. So 17 is a prime number. We are going to jump over to your workbook page, lesson 21. All right. For this exercise, part 1, you're going to be using a calculator. Okay, you're going to test numbers to see if they are prime numbers. For each number, you'll use your calculator. You'll divide the numbers by 2, 3, 5, and 7. Right. 2, 3, 5, and 7. These are the 4 numbers we're going to be using to divide by these numbers to see if they are prime or not prime. All right. If you can divide by any of these numbers and get an answer that is a whole number that has no decimal in it, then that number is not prime. The first value for number 1 is 83. Let's first test it by dividing by 2. 83 divided by 2 equals 41.5. Oop. 83 divided by 2 equals 41.5. Okay, so this is a decimal number. It is not a whole number, okay? So we're going to test it now by dividing by 3. So we have to test it by all of these numbers. So what's our number? 83. 2 didn't go into it. 83 divided by 3 equals 27.6 repeating. Does 3 go into it? No. Let's do it by 5. 83 divided by 5. 16.6. Does 5 go into it? No. 83 divided by 7 equals 11.857. Okay? Does 7 go into it? No. So if all four of these numbers do not go into this number evenly and they come up with numbers with decimals in it, then it is a prime number. So I'm going to put a P for prime. Okay? The second one, 346. Okay, I'm going to see if any of my numbers can be divided into 346, because if they can, then it's not a prime number. All right, so start here. 346 divided by 2 equals 173. So I already know that it is not a prime number because it could divide evenly 173 times. So I'm going to put NP for not prime. All right, my next number is 41. Okay, I'm going to start at the 2. 41 divided by 2, 20.5. So 2 does not go in evenly because there's a decimal. Nope. Let's see. 41 divided by 3, 13.6, repeating. Does not go into 3 evenly. 41 divided by 5, 8.2, not even. Nope. And 41 divided by 7, not even. So if I do not have any of these numbers that go into 41, this is a prime number. So P. Okay? My next number, 93. Go ahead and get rid of my X's. All right, 93. First thing I'm going to do, 93 divided by 2. 93 divided by 2 equals 46.5. Nope, because it has a decimal in it. Next number, 93 divided by 3. 31. So there's no decimal, so it does go into 93. So I already know that this number is not prime. 93 is NP, not prime. Next number, 73. So you don't have to do every single number. If you find a number that goes into that number evenly, you can stop there and you know that it's not prime. All right, 73 divided by 2. 36.5, there's a decimal, so I'm going to give it an X. 73 divided by 3. There's a decimal there, so I'm going to give it an X. 73 divided by 5. 14.6. There's a decimal, so what do? Give it an X. Nope. One more. 73 divided by 7 equals 10.4. So X. So if my number 73 cannot be divided by any of these numbers, it is a prime number, so I put a P. Okay. Do one more. 77. 77 divided by 2. Ooh, let me get my X's out of there. All right. 77 divided by 2 equals 38.5. X. 77 divided by 3 equals 45.6. X. 77 divided by 5 equals 15.4. X. 77 divided by 7 is 11. Okay, so that time I had to go all the way through, but I found a number that does go into 77, so I know that 77 is not prime. Okay, we'll be doing a lot more with those types of numbers. So today might have been a little bit difficult because it was the first day, but we will continue to work on that. All right. Let's see where we're going next. Find part 2, skip back over to your textbook and a piece of lined paper. Okay, part 2. You're going to write the equation for problem A. Problem A, I'll read it. On Monday, Donna sold 56 eggs. So if she sold eggs, I know that she's getting rid of some. I don't know how many she has. All right. On Tuesday, she sold some more eggs. She sold a total of 313 eggs. She sold a total of 313. On Monday, she sold some sort of total. I'm not sure, but she sold 56. I know for sure she sold 56. So how many eggs did she sell on Tuesday? All right, so to find out how many eggs she sold on Tuesday, I have to take the whole number that she sold minus the eggs that she sold on Monday to find out Tuesdays. And then you would find your answer, and it would be however many eggs. All right, B, C, and D, it wants you to go ahead and write some number sentences on your own and try and figure out the answers. Don't forget to label your answers. When you may pause here when you're finished and move on to part 3. Part 3, we're going to write the two fractions that add for each mixed number. First, you'll change the whole number into a fraction, and then you'll add the fraction that's shown. Problem A. First, we're going to make it into a fraction. Instead of a mixed fraction, we're going to make it into an improper fraction, which means the bigger number on the top. Ooh, that does not erase very well. It's going to bug me. Okay, sorry, best I can do for now. All right, so part or A is 3 4/7. So I have to change this problem to make it an improper fraction, okay? We're going to make it equal the mixed number. So the first thing we're going to do, problem A, 3 4/7. The fraction for 3 will have the denominator of 7. So this is equal to the same denominator as 7. To be able to get your top number, denominator times the whole number. So 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So this fraction is equal to this mixed number. Okay, let's go ahead and look at B. 5 1/2 is equal to, I'm going to keep the same bottom number. Okay, so to get my top number, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. That's my new improper fraction. Problem C. 6 2/9 is equal to something over 9. To get my top number, 9 times 6. 9 times 6 plus 2 is 56. Okay, and that's your new improper fraction. D. 4 5/6. And then E. 1 3/8. So I'm going to set these up for you, but I want you to go ahead and do D and E on your own. Okay? To find my top number here, for 6 times 4 equals what? Plus 5. That's my top number. Here, 8 times 1 plus 3. That's my top number there. Go ahead and complete those. You may pause and unpause when you are ready to move on. Okay, part 4. I'll read what it says. Follow along. Here are division problems that you can work a digit at a time. You see the problem for each digit under the division sign. Then you write your answer above that digit. Look at the first problem. It says 806 divided by 2. The problem for the first digit is 8 divided by 2. The problem for the next digit is 0 divided by 2. The problem for the last digit is 6 divided by 2. You can see the answer to each problem. Remember, for these problems, work the problem for each digit. All right, we are going to go ahead and jump back into our workbook. Find part 2 in your workbook. Part 2, work each problem. Problem A. $369 divided by 3. Okay. So first, my first problem, 3 goes into 3 how many times? Once. 3 goes into 6 how many times? 2 times. 3 goes into 9 how many times? 3 times. Okay, go ahead and work problems B and C. They're just easy, just like that. Looks like there's 2 part 2s. That's pretty strange. All right, part 3. Each item has 2 fractions. For some items, the fractions are equivalent. For others, oh, hold on. Oh no. Part 3. You are going to write your fraction and a mixed number. All right, so complete the table in lesson 21. Remember how to do these. Here's my table. Looks like this. A, B, C, and so on. All right, my first fraction is 3 over 10. That's given to me. Over here, I have 0.7. Then I have 0.07. And then I have to figure out those fractions, okay? So remember, any number on top of the 10, this would be my number, or this would be my decimal, 0.3. Now, 0.7 is going to be 7 over 10, okay? Now, because this is in the hundreds place, instead of 0.07, it's going to be 7 over 100. So how many spaces are underneath or are next to the decimal? That's how many spaces you have underneath your fraction. So 1, 2, you have 2 zeros with a 7 on top. Go ahead and complete the rest of that table, and then we will move on to part 4. All right, part 4. In your workbook, you are going to be going through and testing some prime numbers and not prime numbers. Remember, to test a prime number, not prime number, the numbers you're testing are 2, 3, 5, and 7 to see if they go into any of the other numbers. Then I want you to go ahead and complete the rest of the worksheet on your own. You may also go back to the book and complete your independent work. When you are finished, please submit to your teacher.